Well, hello again. I'm the Sorceress for saucerecipes.tv and I'm making mayonnaise the traditional way. I'm using Julia Child's recipe from Mastering the Art of French Cooking, and this recipe has stood me in good stead for years. Of course you can make it in a blender and that's slightly different. I might make another video showing you how to do that, but this is the way to make it by hand. Now what I have here are my ingredients. I have obviously salt and pepper, I have some lemon juice, a little bit of wine vinegar, some Dijon mustard, some extra virgin olive oil, and my egg yolks. Now the reason I've set it up like this is that making mayonnaise is a lot easier if everything is at room temperature. So my eggs have come straight out of the fridge, and I have warmed my bowl just with tepid water, and I've popped the egg yolks in there also to come up to slightly warm. So I'm just going to empty this out and dry it. And then I can put my eggs straight in there. Now I've pre-separated these egg yolks. I'm assuming that you probably know how to do that. If you don't, there are lots of videos on YouTube and other websites to show you how to separate eggs. That's not my job today. So I'm just going to start whisking these, and I'm using a hand whisk. And I just want to whisk these for a couple of minutes until they get a little bit sticky. So I'll come back when that's done and show you what happens next. Right, well I've been beating these for a couple of minutes. They are nice and liquid now, and the colour is just a little bit lighter, and the consistency is like that. So now we're ready to put some of the other ingredients in. I'm going to use about 1/4 teaspoon of Dijon mustard in this. Mustard is a really good emulsifier, and it helps to ensure the stable incorporation of the olive oil, which I've got here. I'm also going to add, I've got about 1 tablespoon of wine vinegar there. I'm going to add that, and I'm going to add a little bit of salt to get things started. So I'm just going to whisk that up together, and then I can start adding the oil. Now I have put my oil in a jug, but I need to be able to add oil very, very gradually at first, because if I don't, the eggs won't absorb it and they'll curdle. So I'm going to use this baster just to give me a little bit more control about how much oil goes in at first, because with that I can add the oil drop by drop while I whisk. Now this is going to take some little time, because I have to be super careful at first not to overload it with oil. And as you see, I'm just putting in a drop at a time. Once this has been absorbed, I'll probably be able to start adding it in slightly more larger quantities, but for the moment I'm just going to take it like this. So I'm going to stand here whisking away for a little while, and I'll show you what happens after that. Now I've whisked in that first baster full of oil, and as you see it's starting to thicken up, but it's nowhere near what you could call a finished mayonnaise. So I'm going to continue to add oil in slightly bigger quantities, slightly faster now, because the eggs are going to be able to take it. 1 large egg yolk can absorb as much as 6 fluid ounces of oil. That's quite a lot of oil, and a really good mayonnaise has a large amount of oil. If you haven't a lot of experience doing this, I would suggest you don't try to force feed egg yolks 6 fluid ounces. I think you could stop at about 4 or maybe 5, at least to begin with. But I'm going to continue adding the oil, and I'll show you how it progresses. Now my sauce is coming along nicely. I've incorporated the second baster load of oil, and as you see it's thickening up a little bit. I've now discarded the baster because the eggs have got to a point where I can start adding the oil in a thin stream. So I shall continue to do that, and you'll see what happens at the next stage. Now I've been whisking this for a while, and as you see it's starting to get much thicker and creamier, and I've used up quite a lot of my 8 ounces of olive oil, but I've still got that much to go, and I might even need some more, but we'll see what happens once I've finished getting this in there. Honey. So you can see what's happened here. I've got this luscious mixture going. I've still got a little bit of the oil to put in, which I'll do. Now, a lot of people worry about making mayonnaise just in case it splits, if the eggs don't emulsify properly and the whole thing curdles. Now, that should not happen as long as you start with everything at room temperature and add the oil in really small quantities at the very beginning, as I showed you. If it does happen, the thing to do is not to panic. You go and get another egg yolk and a tablespoonful of boiling water and whip them up separately, and then add that mixture back into your mayonnaise and whisk it, and it should come perfectly right, just like this one is. Now I'm just finishing adding the rest of this oil. 8 ounces seems like a lot of oil to me, and I think to a lot of people. As I said, you could incorporate a lot more, but I think I'm satisfied with the consistency of this mayonnaise. It's not thick like, you know, it does run off the whisk and would run off a spoon, but I think this is going to suit my purposes really well, so I'm going to leave it at that. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of pepper. I like black pepper, I always have, but some people would prefer to use white. A little bit of salt, and I'm just going to add a touch of lemon juice, just to, not too much. I'll taste it before I add any more. And I think I will add the rest, so I'll just do that. And there is my most beautiful mayonnaise. Now this is a really good base for all sorts of other sauces, and I'm going to make a series of videos showing you what to do with mayonnaise sauce as a base. But tonight I'm going to put that in a salad with some fennel bulb and some celery and serve it with pork chops. So I'm thinking that will be a very nice way of using some of this lovely lemony mayonnaise. I'm the Sorceress for saucerecipes.tv. The recipe's on the website, and I'll see you next time.